President Donald Trump plans to fill the vacancy left by Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy as soon as possible. But Democrats are expected to try to delay that appointment. The vacancy gives the president a chance to turn the court more solidly conservative. Kennedy was nominated in 1987. He sided with conservatives on gun rights, but also with liberals on gay marriage and Roe v. Wade. After Senate Republicans successfully blocked President Barack Obama's nominee for an open Supreme Court seat before the 2016 presidential election, some Democrats are saying this appointment should wait until after the midterm elections.
Anything but that would be the absolute height of hypocrisy.
I want to get a judge that makes decisions based on the law and not on ideology.
The president says he will nominate Kennedy's successor from a list of about 24 people. One of those people on the list, a Minnesotan. Kennedy's retirement takes effect on July 31st. WCCO chief political reporter Pat Kessler joins us now. Pat, let's start with this idea of delaying until after the midterm.
Yep. Good luck with that, number one.
And what's the point? It's the same president.
Well, it's the point. The point is that they think that the Republicans stole the Supreme Court nomination from them, Merrick Garland, from President Obama, and gave it to President Trump. And factually, that's exactly what happened. Not the stealing part, but actually moving it so that Republicans could do it.
Right.
So if it was good enough to delay one because of an election, they say it's good enough now.
And the theory is that the Senate could flip Democratic.
Well, it could, yeah. And the Republicans want to do this as quickly as possible to get this before the Senate by Labor Day, we understand. But here's something that's kind of important. The Democrats do actually have some things they could do. They could refuse to show up, for example, for the Judiciary Committee hearing, and they could delay it. You've got to have a vote in there. Also, they are going to appeal to some of the Republican senators because of the abortion issues that are probably going to come up with a very conservative. So the Republicans have to look at a couple of their own, particularly Susan Collins of Maine and Murkowski of Alaska. They may have people peel away from them. So.
So, Pat,
it's all strategy.
Yeah. Back in November, President Trump actually released a list of 25 judges that he thought could be on the Supreme Court. And he's going to choose from those lists. One of those right there, Judge David Strauss, who used to be on the Minnesota Supreme Court. Now he's a federal judge that was appointed by President Trump. What are his chances? He's one of 25.
Well, that's a pretty good chance right there.
He's on that first list.
Better than you or me.
Yeah, sure. He made the short list. The president did this. This was a list that was compiled by the Federalist Society back when he was running for president. And it was brilliant because he wanted, President Trump wanted to appeal to conservatives to say, these are the kinds of people that I will put on the court. Now, David Strauss is not in the A tier, not in the top tier, but he is certainly on this list. He is a solid conservative, very well liked, very smart guy, clerked for Clarence Thomas on the U.S. Supreme Court. So if he is not on the list this time, he will probably be on the next list also, and there may be another nominee for President Trump, which is incredible.
He also held up Alan Page as a big role model for him.
Absolutely.
Amy Klobuchar supported
he's somebody
him,
who does reach across the aisle. Yeah.